Right, well, moving on, folks. When we hear the name Alamogordo, we think of White Sands National Monument and Holloman Air Force Base and home of the New Mexico space industry.
But do we think of it as a tourist destination? Well, joining us now to get more information on Alamogordo is Jill Lane and Travelin Jack. Good morning.
Good morning, guys. Jack looks like he's still worn out from the trip to Alamogordo. Poor guy. All right, so let's talk about it. Let's talk about the trip to Alamogordo. I love the New Mexico Space Museum. I think it is so cool.
Right.
So how was your trip?
It was great. You know, our philosophy is if it's pet friendly, it's people friendly, and
Sure.
Alamogordo is absolutely both.
Okay.
So we give it a big thumbs up for a great tourist destination. There were so many things to do that we didn't get all of them fit in our 2-day trip.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
it really was fun. And of course, you have to start at White Sands.
Yeah, so talk about White Sands. If somebody hasn't gone, it is incredible.
It is. It's pet friendly, and you can see Jack is wearing his Junior Bark Ranger
Junior
bandana
Bark Ranger.
that he got right there at White Sands, and it actually had tips for pet things to
No
do
kidding.
in
Okay.
in the National Park Service. Carry water. One of the tips that I like is the bandana is not just cute for looking, but also if it's a hot day, you water it and wet it down.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's good for both humans and for pets, but it really helps keep them cool. You want to make sure and have plenty of water when you're exploring. But we were there on Easter Sunday.
Okay.
Lots and lots of families, lots and lots of picnics, lots of people playing, having a great time at White Sands. It was a beautiful, beautiful afternoon, and we really enjoyed it. Jack, got some photos. He was Mr. Sandman, and did some fun things, in the sand, and we had a great time.
That's great. So what else did you do in Alamogordo?
Well, after we left White Sands, we decided to hit one of the state parks. Oliver Lee State Park is in Alamogordo, and they clued us in on a really nice little nature trail that ends up at a spring, a natural spring.
Really? Okay.
And Jack decided to explore the natural spring. He got into it big time. Totally enjoyed it, and got thoroughly wet and a little bit muddy too. So following our trip to the Oliver Lee State Park, we decided that it was probably a good idea to hit Alamogordo's dog wash. They have a
There's a
self-serve
dog wash.
dog wash. And as you can see, Jack wasn't real thrilled about it, but
Oh,
he
I bet.
did come out a clean dog,
Yeah.
and it's there open, 24/7. You can take your dog in
You
and
can
get
still,
them.
Wow.
he's still upset over
I
it.
know, he still looks like he's
He is
upset.
still very upset about
Now,
that.
of course, pet-friendly hotel, you guys
Yes.
always have a way of
So we
finding
got
it.
him cleaned up at the dog wash in order to check in, and the Magnuson Hotel is pet friendly, and they even have on their sign dog friendly.
Oh, okay.
So we were really excited. For those people who do not know, Magnuson Hotel and Suites was formerly the Best Western Desert Air. So
Okay.
it's been around for a long time, and they've recently changed brands, and they've upgraded, and they've modernized it and renovated, and it's an absolutely beautiful setting. It's great and
great.
very pet friendly. They greeted Jack with a treat, and they have a dog area that's dedicated for dogs, and it's just big, comfortable rooms, a hot breakfast in the morning, so very, very pet and people friendly.
That's great. So that was just day one.
That's correct.
So what happened on the second day? There were
Day
2 days
two,
there.
we went right to where your favorite place is the Space Museum, and we wanted to check that out. Now, the dogs, in order to go inside either the museum or the IMAX theater, have to have a service dog designation.
Okay.
But they do have an outdoor area that's amazing with all sorts of space. You can see there's the Rocket Man Jack. But we were able to walk around and look at all the different space exhibits outside, which was really, really fun. We went into historic Alamogordo, which is really charming, and they actually even have a little sort of a plaza that's as a historical plaza designated, shows the different history of the city. And from there we decided that it was getting close. There he is at the plaza that shows the history with some cute murals and different things. So there's lots of good walking areas and visiting areas and shopping areas around Alamogordo. We like to picnic when we eat out, when we travel.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. What about food in Alamogordo?
So we planned, because it's a nice season, we planned a lot of picnics. So Alamogordo, between the Alamogordo Zoo and the Toy Train Depot, is a beautiful park. So we had a nice picnic lunch there in the shade of the big cottonwood trees, and we visited the Toy Train Depot. Jack's waiting for the train. He's wondering where it's at.
Did he get to ride on it?
That's actually his size. It's a miniature narrow gauge train, and they've got a little museum there that's really, really cute. So we visited that, and And then after that, you know, he decided that it was time to really sort of go to the roots of what Alamogordo is all about as a farm community. And we visited the Pistachio Land USA Pistachio Farm, and the biggest nut in the world. Jack's probably number 2 behind that big nut. But they were so wonderful there. We had a great time. They actually allow very well-behaved leashed dogs to take the tour, the bus tour.
That's cool.
That they take you through the winery and the vineyards and the pistachio farm.
Wow.
So we were able to do the tour, and then we went inside with Jack and shopped. And they do have an ice cream parlor. We couldn't go in there because of health purposes,
Sure.
but we got some pistachio ice cream, went outside,
Ooh.
and enjoyed it on the patio.
That's
and
great.
so that was the end of our 2-day trip. Lots of other things to do that we did not have time to do. It's a great family destination, a lot of outdoor activities, a lot of wonderful history, and really educational oriented things that you can do in Alamogordo. So it really truly is a good tourist getaway from Albuquerque.
That's great, yeah, and pet friendly, obviously,
Yes.
too. Well, guys, thanks so much for the report. And again, if you want to keep up with Travelin Jack and his adventures, head over to casa.com. We'll